Hi everyone. Since the teacher is sick out today, I'm going to teach Unit 2.2 on the organizational structure, loading through diagrams. So I'm going to try my best. The key terms that I'm going to be using for each diagram are delegation, span of control, levels of hierarchy, flat and tall organization, chain of command, authority, responsibility, and empowerment. So the first slide that we have is an organizational chart which shows the function and department of a firm and others within them. It is shown through a pyramid, which is also known as a level of hierarchy, and this is defined as the ranking or layer of authority from the top of the organization to the bottom. Each level has their status and authority. Authority, when we say authority, we mean the official permission or approval of having power. The ones on top have a larger wage and responsibility, thus are more important. When we say responsibility, we mean a duty or obligation to satisfactorily perform or complete a task that one must fulfill. It is usually assigned by someone or created by one's own promise or circumstances. So, we have a downward slope that is being shown as a vertical chain of command. This is known as the vertical lines of authority within an organization, enabling orders to be passed down through the layers of hierarchy. To transition, we can see that the structure can be clearly seen in the next slide. Here we have a better structure of what we've just seen before earlier, and can be seen through the managing director as having the highest rank, responsibility, and hierarchy in the chart. The job of the managing director is to delegate the directors that are below him. When we say delegation, we refer to this as the passing of control, authority, and responsibility to another person to carry out specific activities. This will generally be done, of course, by the managing director to subordinate, which in this case would be the director as shown on this chart. Based from this, the director controls the 5 different departments of business, and then he delegates and does the same thing as the managing director, but instead he delegates it to the production, marketing, finance, administration, and development areas. This next slide shows the different types of organization that we can find. The flat and tall organizations. A flat organization is known as an organization that has few levels of authority of hierarchy. A tall organization is known as an organization that has many levels of authority and hierarchy. As we can see, the flat and tall organization has a limited number of employees that we will see now. Yes, the tall organization has a few number of employees, which generally has a high span of control. The top figure is also represented and known as the entrepreneurial organization. This is where a few top managers are seen. As we see right now, there's one person at the top and then 2 that are below him, which are his managers. And it's generally tightly controlled by the delegate who is shown at the top, and this type of organization is usually fast, flexible, and lean. The bottom structure is represented as a tall organization for its large size and its low span of control due to the less number of people that need to be directed. This type of organization is also known as machine organization, where an example of one of these would be like the manufacturer factories or government agencies. And the practice of empowerment is best shown in the tall organization, meaning the bottom one, due to its large size, since more people are delegated to others below them. And when we say empowerment, we mean the management of practice of sharing information, rewards, and power with their employees. The next slide, we have a pyramidal structure. And this type of structure is a hierarchy with the executive level at the top and the descending from the middle management to the lower level of the organization. Well, this type of organization is also known as a bureaucracy. The MD, known as the managing director, has control of all the key elements of the company. This type of activity includes strategy, operation, and overall vision. So the managing director would generally have higher control over the senior management, middle management, and the workers, and has authority to operate and strategically operate the business. This next slide is a centralized organizational structure, which is a setup in which most people in critical decision-making responsibilities are concentrated with a few key leaders, as the managing director is displayed in the center. The advantage of having this type of structure is that it will focus its vision, have fast execution, reduce conflict, and control and accountability. So the managing director could have control over the 5 departments and have a better and clearer vision, as was shown in the pyramidal structure. In this slide, we see that there is a circular organization structure, which the main idea of having this type of structure is to focus on cash and making profit, not personalities of decision making. So it shows all key management positions reporting directly to a company's managing director. And all departments are interrelated. One can't be effective unless all are effective. As I mentioned in my mind map earlier from last week's activity, where all must be given equal importance in order for the business to carry out its goals and objectives. And lastly, we have this collaborative organizational structure, which is an underlying culture of collaboration which drives all activities within the organization. There are 3 important characteristics to this type of organization, which are a networked and non-hierarchical organization, a culture of openness, honesty, and trust, and the third being the engaged and valued workforce. So these 3 are important characteristics that define collaborative organizational structure. As I've mentioned earlier, all departments are considered equally and collaborate equally central to making the business strive in the future. So I've mentioned all types of organization. I've explained all diagrams. Thank you for listening to this podcast.